Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to demand you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look through our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become. In being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 388th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. Here on Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Cremond, and I will be host once again in this weekly series of workshops. And once again, we have the pleasure of being joined with members and support members of the Universal Council, who will be presenting today's program. So let me get that program ready, and we will begin. And we will begin with the intro from, well, either Mark or Dean. I'm not sure which. Take it away, please.
Thank you, Rick. It's Dean here. So, welcome to the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for justice and world peace. And that peace, as we know, starts within our own structure, and then from that position, we can influence and create dimensions and transmutations of our thoughts and our actions and our words that create peace within the environment and within ourselves. In this moment, we create a condition of harmony, giving and receiving. How are you feeling right now? How is it for you in this precise moment? How is the energy transfer within your physical structure? Does it feel like you have much energy and you are ready to go? Or do you feel depleted and lack of energy? The last few days I've been, for myself, speaking for myself, I had a condition where I had very little energy, and I realized I needed to give more to receive more. And we always get it the wrong way round. We think we have to receive, we have to take. And that drains us. That drains the energy from us. It's the opposite way round. We need to, it's taking a position from gravitational to magnetical. It's giving. And the more we give, the more we receive. And being present to give more, to help humanity and all the created creatures in this precise moment. You can do this in any moment that you choose. We've spoken about this many times, that outside of the planet Earth, time doesn't really exist. So if you take that into a plasmatic condition of your thoughts and your present moment, and you contact your soul, you understand that you can transmute, your thoughts, your happiness, your well-being, your energy, to any point, to any person, to any being, any soul that you wish. And you can receive from other souls in your lineage that maybe go back, through your grandparents and your, all the generations before this, going back and back and back. And one of them, if you are very much a giver, will look upon you and realize that you're giving, and they will give you energy. They will see a bright star shining, and they'll realize you've reached a condition, an understanding, and they will give you energy. Remember, energy transfer and energy of the soul is an eternal process. And if you are present in the moment, you can contact and be present with any being, any soul that you wish. And you can transfer your, as I've said earlier, your beauty, your happiness, your energy to this entity, to this soul. And maybe we should start with the soul that's part of our structure, that is connected to, the totality of the Creator, and give to the Creator. Be very humble. and then see what the Creator will give back to you in this moment. So welcome to the One Planet, One Nation, One Race. I hope you enjoy this program, and all the souls that are present within the the council and the foundation are present to guide and to help and to give a beautiful understanding of the knowledge of creation, the knowledge that has been shared freely and openly for humanity to elevate and to be part of a much bigger totality. So welcome. And I think we can, unless Mark, you'd like to say something, I think we can move on.
No, I just want to thank everybody for sharing their time and their presence with us. And oftentimes we wonder, what are we doing here? And Mr. Keshe had said, we're here to cleanse the entire system under the cover of the Keshe Foundation. But it's not going to be a cleansing or using a mop and rubber gloves and boots and a scrubber in the matter state. We're actually introducing new energies, which is bringing new enlightenment, new emotions, new intellect, and new understanding. So I want to thank everyone for being here, and welcome to the world of energy to bring the change rather than to work through the conventional matter state understanding. And of course, I'm sure we'll talk about some of these systems which will bring that enlightenment or creation of a new time in a way. And it's all going to be done through the energy dimension in a very large way rather than individual or one-on-one or one with 30 people, even though that method is good as well. But I think there's a change in energy being brought again, to correct the illness of our thinking, of our minds, of our behavior, and the rest of it. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for being part of the change that's taking place right in front of us as we speak.
Okay, thank you, Mark and Dean. And next we have an excerpt from the last 599th Knowledge Seekers Workshop from July 17th. I'll bring that up now. And this has to do with the collective image of the souls. And here we go.
And then you understand, you remember the picture of last week. And this week we set out to change a lot of emotions, a lot of other things. And
recording in progress.
And you have a look, remember the last week, and you see how much we control things. And then hopefully by the end of the time, we'll have the new ones in. You see, this is how your soul sits now after saturation. You see the soul, how bright it is feeding, because that's where you're feeding from. We know what you're feeding you. And you see the soul of the physicality, and the physicality is very little. The combination was to feed your soul, or feed from your soul to the soul of physicality. And we, as I said, what you get from outside, what it comes from inside, and then the hammer, you get a new, this is your soul of physicality. And then you see the combination. And if you look at the same position, how much is it strengthened? Because we targeted feeding the soul. With our system we can. And you see the strength of it, how it changes. This is the different phase, and you see the way. This allows us to, in the future, for psychological reasons, to target how we set our systems, to strengthen the soul and let the soul of physicality take its place. And it's very, very interesting how we can dominate and change positions in what you call the strength of the system. I'll show you exactly what it is. Just we're trying to establish something from the center in the lab as they are monitoring what's happening. Okay, now I want to explain to you something on the pictures you've seen. You see this picture? This is important to us. This is what we are concentrating on today, because physicality will show later on. You see the change in the soul area. This is at 10:40, 10:45, after you lot been added 45 minutes. And this is before. So we can touch the soul. We know what material we use, we know the way we use it, and the way it has to be done. And interesting is now, this is your latest image, because we changed the combination. We have put your souls into dimensional change, which is now going through. And have a look what we've done with you and what you're receiving now. I have to come out and go back in again. That you see the latest by change of system. This is how it started. This is where you are. And in half session, we changed. Have a look. So we took the influence on the soul away. And see what happens. 2 halves, 2 separation, trying to sort out to get feed energy from the center or get energy from outside. And we look at the last one at the end. We have developed a technology, we can directly touch the soul of the man. And with that, we can transmute the man. We don't need you to decide, we can make a decision. And this is a clear example of it today. So, have we got the right schedule? And now, as we change the dimension of physicality, you lot are changing drastically. Those of you who are in it, you are playing with it and see what has happened to you lot in the past 10 to 15 minutes since we changed the position. Because it matters. It explains a lot about dimension of how we can feed you in the future, how we can bring the change. And the latest pictures coming up, you can see how your own behavior go in sequence, that we all see where we all stand collectively. And as I said, monitor these three regions. And if you notice, you always have a feeling line. And just watch yourself. You're getting fed. This is the structure. Now you see the change because we stop feeding the soul. Now physicality is dominating because we stop feeding you from outside, from the environment. And you see how flatlined you become. Totally physical.
Okay, that's one of our excerpts, and I have another one that'll line up as well.
I wonder how much easier now. Now we can transfer plasmatic fields the way we're doing it now. It's I just received how things have changed since you started talking. We are monitoring every minute of it. How things creates gaps and emotion changes in the solar physicality. Because we're getting fed very continuously with the information, I'll show you a few things that you can see. How you interact with or the knowledge interacts with the soul of knowledge seekers online. Watch this. This is from the time you came in because you raised a different question. And I explain to you later on what this means. This is the time before you come in and at the present time. Watch this. And this is the point where you came in and you talk. You see the line and you see, now look at it here. This is the point you came in. And you see the way it was. And how you bring that change in emotion. Separation of lines. This explains a lot to us in actually the process. Unifying understanding. And you see the physicality has changed from this position to a vertical position.
All right, that completes our excerpts from the 599th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Go back to our program now. And next we have the wishes. And I'll remind our audience that we'll have a full minute of silence after every wish in order for you to implement it.
Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. And thank you, beautiful souls, for being here, present always in these wishes, beautiful wishes from the core of our heart and soul. So, the beauty of the wishes. We, the Universal Council, elevate all souls in existence to see the truth and understand that what is the condition, what is the action to be taken, energy wise and in physical form. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish for everyone in existence to find the common denominator that unites between all of us. We, the Universal Council, create conditions to support the Keshe Foundation on giving the universe knowledge to all the environment to guarantee their existence and receiving everything they need to exist. This is the same, yeah, perfect.
We, the Universal Council, through our wish, add our energies to the Middle East proposals put forward by MT Keshe to the Iranian leadership to resolve the issue of nuclear materials in Iran, as Iran will become processing and reprocessing center for the domestic nuclear energy production industry worldwide. And world leaders will understand that this is the right financial path to obtain technology in exchange for peace.
We, the Universal Council, give from our souls to elevate all humanity, to feed the children. We, the Universal Council, wish for compassion is shown to all entities.
On behalf of all the peace-loving beings of planet Earth, we, the Universal Council, elevate those who think that they are in charge to find out that it is time to move to their universally correct positions and places, for the lovers of peace are in charge.
We, the Universal Council, to give freely from our soul, to connect and elevate all leaders to work as one soul, in one direction with Keshe Foundation and Ray Corporation, to achieve peace through the technology in exchange for peace, as one nation, one planet, one race. Our wish is our command.
Thank you so much, my dear Rick. Join the soul of man with the soul of physicality, dear beautiful soul, by speaking these words in this moment, now. I love you, my soul. I live you, and I love with you. I adore you. See what the soul will give you back to you. Thank you for saying this in from your inner realm. And I always say this. Well, we should be kind of, uh, uh, getting intimate to the with the soul. Um, so now we can go to the next. This is the soul connection, beautiful soul. That is always now, forever. And I will say, please, I mean, focus on your breathing, deep breathing, breathing in, breathing out. That is the most. That is you are. That is we are. And this makes us a living being. Uh, in India, we say Jivatma, entity, soul beings, and the universal unified identifies us. So breathing, focusing on the breathing is very much necessary in these moments, and it brings you this in this position, in the now position always. And when we are in the now position, the commandment "Thou shalt not possess" comes in, and this creates this you, me, and all this that is, and it brings this beauty and totality around you to give the strength to elevate all souls in existence. And 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 when you are standing in the now, and there is the past, there is the future, and then when we say this "Thou shalt not possess," we become kind of eternal soul. And breathing in and breathing out, we understand that this makes us how to create the beauty and totality as we are learning this in the future. So we become, when we say no, the detachment, no, "Thou shalt not um, possess," then we become like, eternal souls, the timeless. Here I am, here we are, the timeless true self. And then we create this elevation. And then we connect in the universal unified field, creating this beauty and totality for all souls in existence. And it is so simple sometimes. It was then, it was like, how can we do it? How can we elevate? But we can. This is our ability. This is our ability. So I will start the soul elevation, soul connection um, in Hindi language. Uh, uh, Hindi language, our national language of India. They say that, but then I will do it in Hindi, and I explain how to do it in a way I do. So you can you can be like that, as we are all soul beings. So I'm starting in Hindi. आप सभी को, आप सभी शुभ आत्माओं को प्रणाम, शाश्वत प्रणाम करती हूँ, सलाम बोलती हूँ, सल्यूट बोलती हूँ। आप सब यहाँ आज प्रस्तुत हैं इस खूबसूरत से माहौल में, आत्मा और दिल का एक तार बना के। और मैं ये चाहती हूँ कि इसी तरह से हम आत्माओं का उन्नयन करें, एक दूसरे से जुड़े और ब्रह्मांड को सलाम करें। और यही मैं ये चाहती हूँ कि आप अपने श्वासों पर को ध्यान दें, श्वास लेते समय और श्वास बाहर जाते समय जैसे आप लेते हैं। और ये एक तरह का योगिक प्रकरण भी है, आप इसको फॉलो कर सकते हैं। और इससे आप एक जीवात्मा है, इसका भी ब्रह्मांड को एहसास होने लगता है। तो आप कृपया एक जगह पर बैठिए, अगर आप इस जगह पर हैं तो। लेकिन आप कभी भी कर सकते हैं। श्वास का ये जो आवन जावन है, और जिसके ऊपर आपको पूरी तरह से ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, और ब्रह्मांड को शुक्रिया और कृतज्ञता देते हुए हम आरंभ करते हैं। और आप कभी भी, आप एक गृहिणी हैं, आप एक माउंटेन ट्रैकर हैं, आप आप कहीं भी कोई भी हैं, आप कभी भी इस आत्मा आत्मा के मिलन को महसूस कर सकते हैं अपने अंतरंगता से। तो मैं शुरू करती हूँ, आप श्वासों पर ध्यान दीजिए। और सभी जीवात्माओं के उन्नयन के लिए अ, हम ये आत्माओं का उन्नयन का एक तरह का अभ्यास करते हैं, जो हमेशा हम कर सकते हैं, हमेशा। तो ये सिर्फ 2 मिनट के लिए है, दिस इज फॉर 2 मिनट। एंड इसके बाद मैं शुरू करती हूँ, 2 मिनट बाद हम फिर मिलते हैं। शुक्रिया। Thank you so much, your beautiful souls, for always being present, always, always. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And welcome, welcome to the beauty and totality, dear beautiful souls. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute.
Thank you, Shweta. Those were beautiful words in Hindi you spoke. And of course, this process continues on a daily basis until we reach the permanent peaceful conditions on this planet. It happens at 9 p.m. Collectively, we join together on this energy dimension. So calculate the time for yourself and ask your soul to remind you if you're not used to this process. And I've done that. Many times the soul will, I'll just look at the clock. It'll be 5 minutes before 9 p.m. CET or CEST, or a few minutes after, and then I join in. And it's up to you how long you'd like to spend in this process. And again, you can be working, climbing the mountain, riding the bicycle. The physicality is not involved. And we're exploring this energy dimension, and we're giving to the soul of the world leaders. Not so much to the world leaders, their physicality. We're actually providing energy for the soul. And we know that the physicality follows the totality. And again, it's about understanding a little bit more about ourselves and our energy dimension as we become passengers of the universe. In the energy dimension, it'll all be about giving and taking. And this is the process that we're going through. Again, it's not a day job. It's not like putting the turkey in the oven and a few hours later it comes out and it's all finished. Apparently, the position of these souls are so low that they need much, much elevation. So that's why we're doing it collectively, because as we found out in making the cups of life, number one, we didn't just make one. We made a collection of cups and then mixed them all together. And this gave us a wider spectrum of fields to interact with what we were dealing with at the time. And it's the same with us. By coming together, we're creating a beautiful bouquet of different fields that one of the souls of the leaders may pick it up and change a dimension within the dimension of physicality, that they become more peaceful, more balanced, kinder, and the aspect of sharing. So please feel free to join us. Again, this doesn't take a lot of work. It's not a physical process. It's the energy process. And of course, working in the energy dimension does not take a lot of work. But we're so used to physically trying to change things that this is a bit strange. And I've always thought wishes were just for children. But of course, now I learned in the Keshe Foundation and the knowledge being shared that the entire universal community creates things out of their wishes, which is hard to believe. But now we know that the energy, in a way, comes first before the manifestation and physicality. So please join us. We need to reach a collective awareness of humanity. By giving, we'll create this position of change. So now that you know, you are responsible for participating as you choose to. And again, you can do it the way it pleases you. So thank you all. And we continue this process. We find out more about ourselves and the way we can change things in this energy dimension, not so much with the physicality. Thank you. Anyone else would like to add anything? Feel free.
Hello, it's Mehran as Farsi language Universal Council support. Thank you for beautiful things you say. Just remind the people who listen to, when we say about we use our energies, it's not just we go open the refrigerator and take a high energy booster and then we make wish. Now, we use our energy center, which is equivalent of center, soul energy center. So that we deal with energy of soul on illimited energy of soul, and that's how the things works faster. Even though these days I'm saying with all these wishes, it's yet not there, but I see that we are getting there. I see a lot of funny mistakes by the war leaders, and I hope their mistakes get bigger and bigger, and so it would be easy for the peace. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think before this part, I'm to play a video of the invitation to become a Universal Council member. And just let me get that prepared and share it, and we'll watch that now.
There's something which I should have made announcement. As we are structuring in a new development of the Keshe Foundation is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60, and they served during the 60 years they are there till 61. They to run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply for to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of true structure of the nationality, understanding the culture, that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation, or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear Rick. I also want to add to Shriman Mehran ji, MK Keshe. And I also, it's a humble request to all souls, those who are willing to serve humanity this time, to create the time, and you are welcome from anywhere from the world, any language you speak. You are welcome here to join the Universal Council membership, or as we are all universal souls. So this is the here we are all equal. I will say, I am fortunate. I use this word sometimes, but then now we can help serve humanity. So please do come. Welcome, my dear beautiful souls, to join the Universal Council. Thank you so much. And then I also want to add, we invite you to connect with a member of the Universal Council to send us your question to be answered live each week, and or the needs of your community. And here is a beauty is that the Universal Council website page is developing accordingly to the time for the future. So for now, anybody can contact, from everywhere can contact and ask questions. I will say we are all learning as knowledge seekers, and you can question, you can answer, you can have a discussion. If we also have a question from you, so please come to the telegrams of all languages, to the telegram of all languages, and please share your experiences, testimonials, and all you want to share, dear beautiful souls. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us as one soul. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute.
Next, we have the completion of the missing commandments by Mehran Keshe, and this is the 22nd commandment, detachment.
Thank you. Oh, yes, Dean, please do. Welcome.
Thank you. No sweat. If you'd like to read them, please go ahead.
Oh, please, you go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, my dear. You say beautifully always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sweta. Right, okay. So this 22nd commandment, which is detachment. And I think this is a very important one for us, for each and every one of us to really absorb and understand how the soul works, how it achieves a position, how it gains this higher level of acceptance of being part of a much bigger totality that we are already part of, and it's that acceptance that we need to do. So on the site, there's some words that were written, and I think they're very important words, and I'm going to read them. Okay, so it says detachment. I remember seeing Moses. When he received, he was so joyful. He was jumping up and down. And then, at one point, that's why he took time in the mountain. When you start reading it to understand it, that he could interpret it in a physicality, he saw a lot of it wasn't what he came up the mountain for. He said to him, take the whole, not the part. He took the whole, but by pretense of being heavy, he dropped the whole. It wasn't written in stone, it was carried with the soul. He wrote it down. The heaviness was with the soul of the man, not on the weight of the stones. And I think this is all very relevant for each and every one of us to understand how, from a seed position, how, this detachment, if this was delivered in the right way, we would be in a totally different environment, reality right now. We would be experiencing totally different conditions on planet Earth. So when the intention is set and when you understand the detachment from all the physical side, when you actually contact or are present with your soul, you'll suddenly realize the beauty of what we have as part of us. And we all, or each and every single one of us, when we tap into it, we become one. We become part of the Creator, which is, we have this condition with each and every one of us where we do a lot of thinking, and we use this matter state monkey brain to rationalize everything that happens. And the soul doesn't do this. So the soul sits in the middle of the brain. It's an energy pack. It's this centralized energy. And it's a radiant star, sun, galaxy, whatever you want to call it, black hole, creation point, the Creator. And when you actually tap into this tiny particle that is present within your structure, but that one material piece, when you add it to all the others, creates and fulfills the totality. You become that one, that oneness with everything. And then from that position, we can create at will, as we wish. So the detachment brings enlightenment. It brings everything that you require in your energy form that will materialize for you in the matter state when you actually bring it forward into manifestation from your intentions, as long as they are correct and they are part of a beauty that you'd like to share with others. to help others, to give to others. You will then receive, as I felt today. When I remember when I said I didn't have much energy, and since I've been sat present with these beautiful souls that are here now, I feel my energy source is uplifted again. They've given to me without me even asking. It's just it's a natural thing. It's part of being present with a community that only know how to give unconditionally. So detachment will bring us this beauty for each and every one of us. So this is a completion of the Missing Commandments by Mehran T. Keshe. And we can all take what we have understood from it, but it's from the Creator. And it's an understanding for humanity to elevate and to understand the beauty of, creation that is part of us. And I'm sure some of the other beautiful souls that are present would like to express themselves now. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so, so much, my dear Dean. So lovely you said. And I will also want to add that the thou shalt not possess the commandments we heard, we learned, we felt. That is detachment. And that becomes, if we understand the past and what should we look for it, the beauty that has many said that you should remember the good times, and then taking that good times with you in the feeling of love, you can create the future with the detachment, with what the energy you don't need anymore. This was blocked many years ago, thousands of years ago. Even the gurus in India, the famous gurus I will not name, they have books, they have everything, even, but they have created another thing that you should do this to attain this, and they have blocked the knowledge of love and light, where we can say the celestial river of love and light that goes to our spine, to the earth, to the galaxy. So this was happened when the gurus taken charge, the fake gurus, I will say, they've taken charge of this learning of what we should do as a human being, or what our soul is like that, our heart is like that. And in India, you can see there is all over the ashrams and all. They have all the knowledge, they have all everything, and people are bowing to them daily 100 times and creating more offensive energies, worshipping. Worshipping is not bad, but what are you doing? Manifesting the negative part of every darkness. Then people are like that. The catastrophe comes when people see things like that. I don't know. We haven't told. You have your own ability. You don't understand. People are hungry out here. There is classification of society. People are giving, you know, bows they don't use to the sweepers, to the maid. You don't see that? This is so corrupt. Like this. India is like that. It is so this detachment has to be very, very precise, I will say. Here and of course all souls in existence. That has to be a detachment. Kind of that so we can flourish equally, equally, sharing love to each other, respecting each other. This is the knowledge of love and light. So, and they have blocked because of their own self. I mean, created this cruelty around, and this shouldn't be happening. People should understand. They say the disaster is coming. There is an earthquake. There is an storm, and there is an. You were gone to picnic. After telling you that you shouldn't go there. There's a storm coming. Stay in your house, but you didn't listen. So then, people should understand your own ability to be in the light and love. And the illusion, you are inclined more. You have to thin out those things, curve yourself out of that. Be the beauty you are. So here is this love and light. Here we call Ganga, the celestial river, even. So I will say, be in the light and love, dear beautiful souls, and understand and observe. Be an observer too. What you don't need, what you don't need, either ignore it or deplete it from your energy field. Live in the now. So this is what people should do here in India. Indeed, deep, deep, deep purification, I will say, of course, or elevation if needed, and then the whole cosmos, dear beautiful soul. So thank you listening to me. Sometimes, blocking this knowledge creates this sadness. People don't see in front of them things are happening, the cruelty is happening, but they don't see and say they are good family, good people, very good people. Oh, we want peace, you know, but there is no work, there is no intention. They just say, as the neighbor was saying, as that neighbor was saying, oh yes, we watched in TV, we need peace. How? You have to understand. So thank you. Thank you for listening to me, dear beautiful soul. These emotions come and we are balancing it. We learned how to balance. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. Anybody wants to, um, any beautiful soul wants to say anything more, please do. Welcome, welcome.
I can annex little word. Thank you. Attachment is the chain of physicality. Detachment is the path to the elevation of each soul through the unconditional giving. Thank you.
One of the interesting thing about this particular commandment that is important to take note of is it how it relates to us, our conduct. In a way, these commandments are all embodiment of universal conduct, translated in terms of things people of the planet at that time or even now are accustomed to. So let us focus on this universal side of it with respect to this particular one. So as we, with our effort and by the grace of the Creator as well, we receive enlightenment through which understanding flourishes. Now, this situation is an amazing experience, be it little or something more outstanding. And we see we can perceive the effect of it. It's very tangible in many instances, and and we are all graced by this condition, no matter who we are. The interesting thing is that upon receiving these enlightenment or understanding, one of the tendency is to feel that I have achieved something. And with that, achieving something is really an outstanding thing. But developing arrogance as a result of it is completely another matter. And that's where the partial delivery of that knowledge stems from, arrogance. I am better than thou. So this indicates that the humility has to be a part of this total package. We leave out humility, it will be a partial delivery, as is indicated here. So in a way, this points to this condition that we must always watch for, guard for, with the very best of our ability, is this humility. And the strange thing is that when one demonstrates the ability of advanced understanding, there are people around us who even push us to this arrogant condition. They bow down to us, so to speak. And we see it all over the place. Some of these gurus are not necessarily, bad people to begin with, but the disciples that they attracted put them on a pedestal. And soon the guru started believing that he is on a pedestal. So I wouldn't say it's a peril of the developing and advanced understanding, but it's something that's part of advanced understanding, this humility. And it's a very delicate thing, and it needs protection, much like children. It's a delicate thing. It allows us to move farther in this dimension of understanding. But as beautiful, as delicate as this humility is, it requires that protection, the strongest of the protection, so that we can always receive. With that, we can always serve. Thank you very much.
So for me, I really feel a detachment like these birds in the sky. They are not too heavy to fall down. It's just balance. For me, detachment is first by a decision. We first have to decide to detach, to know what each part, each side is important for us. What do we achieve? Do we think we just live for this life? So I gather, I keep enough for my retirement, and then I die and finish, stop. Or we think that I gather, I spend some time to spend it, and then, but after that, do I die and everything stops? What an injustice, not just. God is not doing such an injustice thing to let us develop and then die and everything finishes. A lot of people think like that. A lot of ideologies in Western countries based on that. They're absolutely Cartesian. I see what I believe in what I see, which has some good parts and some part which is about life after we die. So at the same time, we can see if somebody believes in other ideology that if I die, I just go to the other side of the curtain and my essence, my bank of information, myself goes there. I leave my body for whatever reason. And seems like those who go there and come back, they say that when they go there, and it's a fun part of the thing, not those who have the bad part of it, they don't like to come back. They don't even care about their body or what they had or they are getting detached, some of them. They don't care, in fact, because they think they are alive and they are there. So what then? The matter is, what do I do with what I have to build a better tomorrow for that other part, which is my soul life, which my eternity life? How could I do that? The other part, which is surely more infinite, bigger in any different aspect of imagination. So what could I do with what I have? That it could be thinking, talking, acting, money, real estate. What can I do that it elevates me? It helps me to have a better life even after I went, or I just leave it here and I go. So that's why some people think of doing the charities, which after they have gone, is still working, like making school, like a praying place, that after that they still remember them, and that adds to their well-being after that. Or some people say, no, I'm not going to be dead, and money goes to state or to whoever who is inheriting, and inheritance. So these are the things that the person has to study, some of the things that he is interested in, to decide, because without deciding what we are, what we want to do, what life is, what real life is, like I said, energy center, what that energy center is about and where does it go. So when we kind of have a idea of that, then we can say, okay, do I want to detach or not? And then the answer is easy. It's just easy adventure, because we have decided what's important for us. We want a better life after this life, if we believe in after this life. And so we need to decide. And when we decide, it's not that difficult. It needs a little bit preparation, adjustment, and it's gone. But I have a lot of things I have to work on me, like some of the things like judgments, things like that, because we're used to judging. So I have a lot of these things to work on myself. It doesn't come easily to bypass the habits or educational patterns, but I have experienced this detachment stuff 2, 3 or 4 years, maybe more or less. And I tell you, it's so light. Life is just moving on the clouds. Good or bad, it's still living in the clouds. Good or bad, it's almost the same, because we know kind of, we are kind of the master of the thing. We are kind of doing the thing we are supposed to do. And then the little differences gets better and better by practice. So for me, detachment is like these birds. If they had to carry a luggage, it was difficult, it was tiring. And mentally, in soul level, it was tiring. So they have to stop every few walks and get more energy. But in soul level, it's very light when we start to think of choosing detachment. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
Okay, let's move to our next part. We have the knowledge and understanding of the 599th Knowledge Seekers Workshop with Stefania, if she's available.
Yes, can you hear me properly, Rika?
Yes, sounds good. Thank you, Stefania.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, everybody. Nice to be here again today. So I'm really curious, how many of you have listened, re-listened the 599, because Mr. Keshe and the Keshe Foundation were very interesting to know the feedback. As you know, the last workshop, we were again attached to the system. And if you're not aware of it, now the Keshe Foundation start to do this research in mass, where they want to see the effect of me while they teaching live, how we respond when we're attached to their system, to the machine that they're using usually for the monthly session. The monthly session, as you know, is the practical of the theory of the Thursday. So in Thursday we listen the lecture, and then once a month, for who can be volunteer and apply to the monthly session, and there you will have the practical. Obviously the sessions are not free, but you will support the sorry, I have to give me 1 second. I have to change position, just a second. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi,
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah, because my computer was stuck. Another things happened. This session and the last session, my computer froze. I don't know if it was a coincidence, but on this session and on this Thursday, they just passed, and the one before,
both times during the trial, my computer completely crashed. So I don't think it's a coincidence. Something must have happened in this session. Yes, so if you have time to listen to session, I'm wondering if you felt the fields during the class live, but also if you felt the fields also when you were filling the recording. I hope that someone you tried. I personally tried. I listened to the recording now 3 times, and obviously for me, when they were live, I could feel it very, very well, the fields. When I've listened to the recording, I still feel them, but I feel them better if I put the volume lower at the minimum. But I can still feel the fields even in the recording. And I thought this was a great news because that means already, for example, already told friends and family, everyone who is in tune with this knowledge, I already suggest him to listen to the workshop and give my feedback on how they're gonna feel. I noticed a big change on the skin. Like my skin is very, very soft. This is the first things I noticed. And usually my skin is dry. So I noticed big change on the skin. And also a very good friend of mine that I always wanted to talk with him, but it's very hard to get. He called me after the session, so I thought also that it was a coincidence. But you can write down all the feedback you had through the live lesson and listen even when you listen to the recording, especially if you listen to the recording before going to bed. You can email at info@keshe.foundation. This is very exciting things, because can you believe if we can just need to listen to the recording, we can do a lot with this. Okay, I'm gonna go into the workshop because it was a very, very good workshop. Mr. Keshe went again in deep on creating time. Even deeper than the last time. Yes, so he started again by tell us again over and over how it's important for us to understand how we can create time, and it's gonna explain in more detail. So he make the example, the simple example he make each time, where you need 2 fields. These 2 fields interact, they met, they interact. And then these 2 fields can be like a sperm of eggs, for example. They create a child, but they can create a universe, they can create galaxy, they create stars. And I really like, because in this workshop, it go more in details of this parallel energy. That is very important to understand this, because he said there are this parallel energy. They're very important, and they're everywhere in the universe, everywhere in the galaxy, everywhere in the universe. And they are the one who they can create different dimension, like call him 3 dimension. You can create a different time. So it divided in 3. So the first one, it refers to how the neutron stars are creating, and it's very interesting because it said these are fields that are fields from the creator, and these 2 fields, they are the same fields but different strength. They both coming from the source. As you know by now, it's important the direction of the fields, the speed of the fields. So those fields that they are coming directly from the creator, when they go in the same direction, but there are different strengths, and they can interact with each other, interact, they can form this, what we call the neutron stars. And they are the strongest explosion, they're the biggest in energies and and in speed, you know. Then he said there is another fields interaction, and he said it's when the fields coming back. So he said that a lot of the manifestation of the planets, of the universe, unicorns, and the galaxy are the things that we can see are the one they are the fields coming down. So if you remember in the past, you always talk about yin and yang, like in Chinese culture, there is no yin without the yang, yin and yang, or in our you know, in the Keshe Foundation, we used to magnetical and gravitational fields. So you always have these two. You always have one cannot be without the other, and literally is the same fields who goes out. You can call it magnetical, and then come back down to itself. You know. And he said it's like in the earth, for example, we see the vapor going up, and then when it come down, the fields come down in rain. So the manifestation of the fields are when they're coming down, when they slow down. As they're coming down, they're slowing down, and they will interact with other fields. So if the fields of the source on coming down, they start interact, you know, with the one that are going up. So then you got the fields of the source going away, and then you got the same fields going back to itself. That it's where when we can see the formation of the galaxy, of the universe. And it's very interesting because he also said the galaxy and the universe will form in the space gap of the universe. So the fields, the two fields of the universe, they will have a space gaps where will happen this interaction with the fields coming back. And when you have the fields coming back, they will form the galaxy and the universe. And then it goes more further. The third dimension is the one where you will have the coming back of the fields of the material. So it's dimension of matter. So when they're coming back into themselves, they will as slow down. They will have the confirmation of the manifestation of the planets and the stars. Yes, so he said it's very important to understand these three different times, because in the future, if we want to travel on the universe, we will learn how to go on those fields. So if you want to travel really fast, you're gonna go on the fields of the creator. They're one connected to the source. No, but it's very, very interesting, because then it's going also into the fact that yes, so go back. If you want to slow down, you're going to the fields that are away from the source, and they are more connected with the material. So he said, okay, so as I always said, the fields meet, interact, and they form the child, the galaxy, and the universe. And this is the easy part, okay, to understand. We also know that now we can create our own time. We can dictate our own time. So it's very interesting, because he then he make the example of the layer of the skin. So the fields interact because like the layer of the skin, the cell will start its own time when it will decide the place. And once it decides the place, in that place, the fields will start to freeze, and also you will decide the position. So you will decide, you become like a cell, and then like a layer of the three layer of the skin, there is this interaction of fields where the outer layer will give to the environment what the inner layer or the bottom layer, middle layer or the bottom layer they don't need to survive, and then also there is this taking and giving, where you take what you need to guarantee the existence of everything around you, and you give away what you don't need, and this will guarantee the existence of everything around you. So there is this giving and take to reassure the survival of everyone. And there is a time that it's set from when we decide to take a position. No? So I don't want to confuse it too much, but the interesting things comes because this time Mr. Keshe saying that it's easy, no? So we got this interaction of the fields, giving and take, but the complex bit come when we want to transmute or when we want to transfer, because in that case we're gonna deal with a multiple complex of times. So for example, if I want to transmute with the apple in my pocket and I got a pair of key and I got a book, each one of those elements, they will have a different time. So the skill comes in the transmutation. How can we find how can we transfer everything that we have at destination? So we know now that the fields are too much. So the fields of where I am now have to match the fields of where I want to go. So I have to be able to create the same fields of destination if I want to be able to reach a destination. And then I have to also be able to make a multiple times for for the apple, for the key, for my clothes, to be able to then time it all to be able to go in destination all as together. So this is very important, this workshop, because it's explaining how we can do this, that we got this common denominator that it's in everything and anything that will unite us, and he call him like the hydrogen isotopes. So we have to looking for this isotope, for this hydrogen, for this common denominator, and this happening also when, for example, we meet at 9 o'clock city time at the soul level. We have to find this common denominator who connect us all our times. So this is what we will learn and to do as we practice more. The system that Mr. Keshe has used on us last Thursday was exactly to do this. With his system now, he can match the time of the soul of the man with the time of soul of physicality. And this is what he did in last Thursday. Last Thursday, he created condition with the system where it was connect us to this common denominator. And he called him, if you imagine like a tree, and he's got the main trunk, and then he's got all the branches and all the little, even small branches up to the leaf, no? So Mr. Keshe on this workshop attached to the trunk, to the main trunk of the tree. So he attached to the source. And that was the common denominator between the soul of the man and soul of physicality. He was able to increase the possession, so to increase the power of I assume now, this is what I understood, of the soul of physicality through he did in this way. He charged up, this is what I understood, he charged up the possession of the soul of the man, so increase the soul of the man power. In this way, the soul of the man could feed the soul of physicality, and then the actual goal was to feed the physicality. So the soul of the man So the inner, the one that Mehran was talking about, the center energy source, that we can call him Soul of the Man, to having another name, he empowered that one he wanted to feed with the center energy of the man, he wanted to feed our physicality. And I think that's why he said, notice if you can find any changes on your skin. And actually on my second part, I felt more of change it at the physical level. So I think in my case, definitely Mr. Keshe managed to do that. This is how I felt. He managed to feed the physicality through the soul, and the soul of the man was in the middle. And it's like a 3-layer of the skin, no? So the soul of the man was the middle to kind of, balance the all two. But this is what happening. So Mr. Keshe showed us again once more, then he can change the possession, and so this, I think, is the way he does it. Increase the possession, and then it's up to us with emotion, because it's a possession with the emotion that then will make you the location and the position. He said as well that when we're going to be good at it, we can be able to change our position as well. Position, I would say, is the structure. So in the last workshop, the place was defined, was Earth. The position was defined, was the human body. It just increased the possession of the soul of the man to feed the physicality. And you can report for changes. And it shows also the diagram. The diagram you see at the beginning, at the end, that will explain all this more in a graphic way. So it's all this is very, very important. It's very important to find this common denominator that connects us with the creator. And I think, to me, from my understanding, is the one who connected with the first line, the first dimension, when we are connected with the source. And also, it stressed again about the emotion, like how it's important for us to be able to replicate the emotion, because if we can replicate the emotion, even we can replicate places and positioning. Obviously, he's saying that if we want to, for example, replicate, if you want to go on the moon, you have to replicate the emotion of the moon, of the environment of the moon. So we need to stretch our mind on the fact that we need to create new emotion that already are inside us, because we are connected with the source. So that's why we have to find this common denominator, where from that common denominator we can get all the emotion that we want to then create new time. So very exciting. I really recommend you to go and to listen over and over. First of all, because it was important for the Keshe Foundation to add the feedback, if you can fill the fields before, with the recording, even though there are no lives, before going to bed, for example, they recommend as well. And two, because we have to really learn and understand how to create times. So, and then I'm gonna close with a little feedback from me. I had also very strange dreams after the session of the transmutation, the first session of the 598. I started to dream I was flying and teach people to fly. It was very, very vivid. And this is a dream who always happen if I've done some transmutation classes. So I found very strange, and it's very weird, very vivid dream. Anyway, now we know also the dreams are not anymore dreams. Yes, so, and then my skin was definitely smoother, definitely completely changes, very, very soft. And obviously, yes, I do feel this peace inside. Strangely enough, actually, I felt more angry in the morning after the transmutation session. I'm usually not angry, but actually I was starving. I thought, oh my God, I had the opposite effect. But then during the day, I had no angry. I was not angry. So I can still comfortably have 1 meal a day or 1 meal and a half. It's not a problem, and it does save money. Okay, so I've finished. I think I said everything. Yeah, after the pause again, it talks more. Mark Ray go more into detail. The Mark Corporation. You're looking for new position of jobs. So if you're interested to work with the Keshe Foundation and you're into quantum, you're a space scientist, or you like, or you're really into this space technology, they're looking for more staff. Go into the second part and listen. There is more. And then there are more interesting questions that they're gonna talk about in the second part. Plus, Mr. Keshe gonna show the graphic of the transmutation. So very, very interesting. Okay, this is all for me. Thank you so much.
All right, great. Thank you, Stefania. Always enlightening to hear your impressions of the workshop. Next, we have a video of the workshop, another excerpt, and let me get that ready. It's about new materials, and it starts at about 2 hours 25 minutes into the 599th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Share, and here we go.
Views intact. As I said to the readers yesterday, we don't even need the centrifuge with the new materials we are producing with the systems. We don't even need to mine in the space and bring it. We are producing materials we don't even know what we are producing, because just combination of events creating so much cosmic material. Most probably we have produced materials man has never seen. This is changing a parameter in a literally, very interesting. I just received the latest image. This is let me show you something which is very interesting. This is in the past 3-4 hours. We're not talking hours ago. We changed a parameter for a specific reason. We were trying to see actually how changing parameter will bring us what we need. And interesting is what I'm going to show you in a sequence of events. You lot getting information to the last seconds, literally last seconds. I'll show you something that you can see. We change parameter in the emotional side and the rest of it. We now can dictate and produce materials at will in a very specific way. Oh, this is nice. You lots are really, really going for it. Let me see. I'm going to give you some pictures, which is literally past 24 hours on the research center with the development of materials.
Recording in progress.
Let me share with you, then you understand. I have to go in the sequence that shows material. This is what we were producing with one combination of system using static reactor interaction. Then we decided to see not to produce another corner which we did not produce. We changed the system, and look what we got this morning. We can dictate what we want to produce. There was nothing there before, and we changed certain parameters. We can produce plutonium as we wish. In a contract signed with the Chinese officials, and then they had to change it because they found out we were leaked too much information and caused them problem internally. We know what it caused them. 400 sites in China will be allocated to produce a ton of gold a year. That China does not need to depend on outside for industrial development using Keshe Foundation technology. If we can produce gold in 400 locations, which the Chinese have started, signed agreements, we have the agreements, it's not the talk signed and sealed. Why can't the rest of the world accept plutonium, uranium, silver, or any other material which brings industrial evolution and easy for the others to live? We can deliver plutonium tons of the time as long as it brings peace. And you can see even the specks of solid material you see in the middle. Do we need to kill? Do we need the wars? Or do we change phase? Gaza now is a crime because now we can attack Iran and get the plutonium.
Okay, that's another excerpt from the 599th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And if you'd like to hear the rest, it's at the 2 hour and 30 minute mark.
Yeah, you see, Rick, so again, I missed this part. This is such important part for the summary, because as you can see, it just showed that it can produce any material. So really, can be if people can understand even just this part that Mr. Keshe showed, you can understand that we're really in this is all game changer. So now we don't need the natural resources, we don't need the war, there is no excuse for anything now. So I really hope that more people, more scientists, more people that work with the government, more people who are more in charge, that can understand what's happening now. And I hope they can really take seriously what Mr. Keshe just showed, because from here we already know that there is no any more needs of war or be poor, or it can be the solution of lots of problems if it can materialize everything we want to everything we need. Okay, thank you so much, Rick. I just want to say this because it's very important.
Great, thanks, Stefania. And okay, so I think it's time for test transmutation.
I thought Stefania was doing some sort of testimonial.
Okay, yes, I saw testimonials there, but I wasn't sure about that. So, Stefania, do you have testimonials?
Yeah, I've done it already because I already said that my testimonial was from this last workshop live session where Mr. Keshe was doing a transmutation session as well. I noticed a big change in my skin. Because I'm always have a dry skin, and actually after this transmutation session, the skin become like a baby. It's very, very soft and very, very like it's different. It's like a baby skin, very soft. So this is the first things I noticed. Um, the one I always notice, because when you start to do the transmutation session regularly, here many people do, I know, then you start to recognize the fields, even the fields, the one that Mr. Keshe used for make the soul of the man to become more stronger, to expand. You can start to recognize the fields. So my testimonial is about this, that I can now become more familiar with the fields. I recognize them. I can feel the differences in fields. So for example, when I practice without the machine and I practiced with the fields, for example, at the moment, I found myself practice with the fields of the plants or stones or animal. I can feel a difference. They feels more natural. The one of the transmutation, to me, they feel strong. I recognize them because I've done transmutation in the past, but they feel still different from when I have no using the machine. So yeah, so you can start to get familiar with the fields. I noticed this inner peace that I'm sure many people have reported when they're doing the transmutation session. They feel something, for me, something in the core, something really deep has changed for the better, for the better. So it's more peace. And then this person that I really care for this person, and he called me very rarely, like a couple of times a year, and I can wait for this call. He called me after the transmutation session, so I thought it was not a coincidence, because I always wish to speak with this person, and suddenly he called me after the transmutation. So I thought, I wonder if it is not just a coincidence. The other testimony that I already said, twice my computer crashed. Every time, in both times, was during the transmutation session that was happening live. Luckily, crashed once in the pause from the first to second part. This in the 598, and in the 599, it crashed at the very end. When I come back, you were all gone already. So luckily I didn't lost the session, but I thought, is this a coincidence? Is anyone has an idea why the computer must have crashed? I mean, this happened twice in the transmutation, so I don't think it was just a coincidence. Maybe we should ask to Mr. Keshe. And then what else? Just vivid dreams. Yes, so this was the skin was the one who shocked me the most, because it's very, very visible. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thanks for the additional details. I think now we can move into transmutation with Mashfaq.
Hello, everyone. Here's Mosfik again. So let's talk about, Stefania is doing she talked about an example of how she's transmuting. Let's see whether we can replicate some of her work with some additional hints. We are, wherever we are sitting or listening to this presentation here, we are surrounded by fields of all sorts. Most of it is invisible. There are some fields that are visible, which exist in material form. So fields are flowing all over the place. Sun, stars, even our fields around us that we barely perceive any of these invisible fields. But they do exist. And in a way, the whole creation is a massive flow. We are in a river of fields. They're all flowing in different ways and different strengths. And sometimes they come together and form sort of denser lumps. You can call it a lumpy soup. It has lumps in it, and these are the material or manifestation as material objects or life forms such as us. So these are fields too, but they just are kind of like held together or tightened up a little bit. And, we interact with these fields more readily because we can perceive them. Now, and that's all well and good, but the other fields that are around us, how can we reach those? How can we perceive those? Stefania was talking about in the meeting, did we feel the fields that were being transmitted by the enhancement units? So how do we get to participate in this universal motion of fields? Of course, now with the understanding of positive science, we know that they exist. But it has to be more real than that. Yes, theoretically we can say, yeah, we understand that there are fields, but how do we make these fields part of our reality? The first thing that is important here is that in our understanding is that we can interact with this field. We have this ability. This actually is a jump to a different level of understanding, because how do we even begin to know and interact with this field unless we don't acknowledge our ability to do so? So this is an important first step, that we know that the field exists and we can interact. Well, I should say the second step, and we can interact with these fields. This is a very fundamental way of looking at it. Mr. Keshe used to talk about, people go in this enhancement unit, they don't feel anything, they go in and they come out, nothing happens. So the fields were there, but to them because they were not ready to interact, so nothing happened. So once we know that we can interact, we can create those fields within us which will allow us to interact at a particular field strength, so that there is some effect, there is some emotion. But that requires us to bring forth our fields. We are engaging with this kind of field. And then we know, then we can go and, okay, yeah, I can sense it. The meetings that we have now with enhancement units, there are different kinds of fields in operation. So I will add a little bit of sort of semi-testimonial here in a way. So there used to be lesser number of units when I participated in the enhancement unit meeting in the past. And the thing is that, I had a feeling about those meetings. So this current meeting that happened, the current meeting means the last knowledge seekers workshop. There was, yes, those familiar fields, but there was more. Something else was there too. So there was a bit of something old, something new. So there was some additional fields present. But, but in participating in this meeting, I came in a way, I have to have my own preparation in the sense that I am ready to engage with the fields available. And then I can sense them. Otherwise, if I say, if I assume that it's not possible for me to do anything with this field, nothing will happen. So this sense of able to and then doing it, they are almost the same thing in a way. And so it's not just the fields of the enhancement, it can be any fields in the creation. We want to interact with the fields of the sun or the galaxy. Same thing, same condition exists. We have to reach out to these fields, and then we can interact with them. So in a sense, all fields are available, and there is no shortage of any fields. The only thing is that we have to get to it. And getting to it requires the knowledge that we can get to it. And then go about doing it. Yes, since we are not used to it, at first we may feel a bit shaky and all that. But that's a temporary matter. So any field we can interact with in this river of fields. So this is very important in the sense that, let's say we want to transmute from one place to another, we use a certain field, certain magnetical field to get there. But, this river of fields, there is currents and countercurrents, magnetical and gravitational. And sometimes these interaction of gravitational and magnetical creates rotational motion when there is sufficient match between the fields. And the cosmic energy that permeates everything is the carbon-14 that keeps the magnetical and gravitational separation. And the separation is adjustable. So this is something that we have to get used to. So gravitational and magnetical can interact, but with a sufficient separation, they won't. And that we can change. So if there is no interaction, we have a superconductor condition. So we can go as fast as we need to. There's nothing, no interaction with any other gravitational field which is opposing the magnetic. Now, here we can introduce the idea of the part of transmutation that's the time aspect. So when there is an interaction between the magnetical and the gravitational, one field going away and one coming in, you can think of it, it's a barrier. When there is interaction, there is a barrier forming. So the stronger the interaction, the stronger the barrier is. And the magnetical flow will slow down. as the barrier gets larger and larger. So when we are saying it's slowing down, actually we are changing the time. This is how magnetical and gravitational interaction creates time. And where the slowing down effect, superconductor condition is time zero, because you don't have any resistance, and you are here to there is zero time. But once you introduce gravitational a little bit, you are no longer in the zero time. You are moving away from zero time condition. This is not unlike the condition we have in matter state, for example, in transmission of electricity. But we can, if we diminish the what do you call it, the separation between gravitation, matched gravitational and magnetical, we can create a huge barrier to the point that it can become a shielding effect, so that then the magnetical is not going anywhere, it's just stopped. So the time becomes infinite in a way. You are just stopped there. It's a stable condition for the magnetical not to get out of this boundary or barrier that has been put up, which is the gravitational field. So there's more to it, we can, I won't go into like things about isotopes, stable isotopes and other things. You have very similar condition. The decay or absorption of energy condition in matter state is related to that. Decay is you're losing energy, absorption is you're gaining energy. Both conditions can lead to, in due course, a change in the state of the matter. So here we can see the time, the effect of time coming into our transmutation or changes in matter state or even in the energy state. This time and the barrier that gets put up is, in a way, we are, by adjusting these magnetical and gravitational, it's not just in one field strength level, it's multiple field strength level. It operates, so there can be, a little resistance. I'm sitting here, there's in my sitting position, there is some resistance on the part that's touching the sitting surface, whereas more resistance, but my hands are kind of floating and talking and all that. They don't have this kind of resistance. So different parts of the system may have different resistance, but as a whole, they're in the same energy range. So my body is held together by that process. If it's too extreme, my hand will fall apart from my body and things like that. I mean, I'm just making up a fictional condition, but so the body is held together by a gravitational field. There is decay, which is the aging process. Can it be reversed? Why not? If we know how to access the fields. Specific field which diminishes our decay process. Collection of decay. Our skin is decaying and various other parts of our body is decaying. But it's not just one field, it's a constellation of fields that we can operate on, and which we can say, I want to stay young, let's say. And that's the aging process being slowed down, because we are putting up an energy barrier from our energy to be dissipated. So this is another example of transmutation, where we are actually changing ourselves by adjusting our magnetical and gravitational interaction. And this is done by us participating with these fields. We are engaged in such a way that the gravitational field is resisting the decaying magnetical. So it's essentially playing in the river. We can do all sorts of motions with the fields in this river. We can make a lump, which is the physicality, out of the fields, which is manifestation of material object, as was demonstrated in the knowledge seekers workshop. And out of the fields, we can use static reactor, dynamic reactor, our souls, and whatever form of reactors we can use. But the fundamental part of this is that we are able to interact in a way to achieve a certain result. So all of these, I mean, it's not just when we do these kind of things, it's not just one field. It's a collection of constellation of fields. I mean, I call them calling because it's different energy levels, and it's not just one energy level we are interacting with. The emotion is not just one emotion. It's actually a collection of emotion interacting with a collection of fields. Let's say, I mean, coming back to the example of the aging process, we have, the skin is smoother, like Stefania was saying. And so that's one level. Then there's cellular structure, DNA structure, and the molecules within the DNA structure and the rest of the cell material. So, and, even the atomic structure of these, the various amino acids and materials in the body are not 100% stable because there is energy interaction with the surrounding. So all of these levels of interaction has to come together in unison. So it's a harmonious emotion which holds this whole manifestation process or this adjustment process together. So, and the time is also part of the story. How long, when do you manifest? How long we want to keep this manifestation? Be it a stone or be it our house. It doesn't matter. It's everything has a decay property in the sense that it interacts with the surrounding energy level. We can actually completely insulate using a shielding mechanism, as it is done in prevent things from affecting us in such a way that we don't want. So that's possible. But if we expose anything in the material world to the environment, because there is an energy level match, it decays. So this is this field flowing all around us, which Mr. Keshe went into, and the interaction of the gravitational and magnetical in setting up the time is something. This is actually there in our engineering, let's say electrical engineering, but it's set in such a clumsy way that it's hard to get to this part that we are now with the understanding of the gravitational magnetical, we have much more readily accessible understanding. And it's a very powerful thing of understanding that magnetical and gravitational fields are the essence that creates time and space. It's really very fascinating to see all of these coming together. And so I'll talk more technical if people want to come to the plasma reactor group, hopefully but I've heard that the electricity won't be here. But if not, probably the next one. But anyway, sometimes we have some electricity problem, but I'll see. I'm not sure. But in any case, it's not that difficult to understand. But we have a lot more control here, and I will talk more about how to control this timing as Mr. Keshe goes deeper into timing. We can actually control this, about the control of the time factor with emotion and all that. It's to me, it's very fascinating that we can consciously do these experiments now. And we don't need any.
Mashfaq, sorry, we have a question from Tander and you two that might be appropriate right now. How can we be sure to tap into one specific field when there are infinite fields available?
That is your emotion. You are making the choice. The control process originates at some point. So this is where the emotion aspect comes in. We want to access this field. This sets up our reactor, which is our soul, central power source, sets up our reactor to do this interaction. So any control system, whether we use a knob in the radio or on a tuner or whatever, it's the same thing. There has to be an origin of this is what we want to get to. Once we know what we want to get to, we can turn the knob to a certain point. This is exactly what we are doing with our reactor. We are turning a knob, but with our emotion. That's the fundamental difference. We can access not one field. One field is okay for experimental purposes, but in general, you actually access a collection of fields to achieve certain objectives.
Yeah, because if I can add something, Mushfaq, in the last workshop, for example, I call him to answer also this person. He's gonna explain the technology of the time and the steps. The way I remember, he said, first of all, we have to tune to the time. So we have to find the common denominator. So it means, first of all, like I did in the other workshop, we have to go to 0 time first, and then we create our own time that we want. So first in tune to this common denominator, and it's also the one that we make example of the tree, the trunk of the tree, or the hydrogen, the isotopes of the hydrogen who connect us directly with the creator. And then from there, he said we can freeze time. And I think the way we freeze time is like Mushfaq explained just now, through our emotion. Because if you remember, in the workshop in the past, he said that everything is got emotion. So you can go in the middle of the desert in exactly position that you decide, because we have that type of emotion.
Sorry, Stefania, you're breaking up there. Hello?
Maybe you can mute her, Rick, and she can come back in.
So in that way, we freeze. Is how the time starts, because he said that we freeze time, and then the other time. Oh, shame! Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you now, but we lost a sentence or two.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now, but we lost a sentence or two.
Can you hear me? Or
hello? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but you can't hear me, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No,
we lost
maybe,
sort of part of your
connection. Can you hear me now?
Okay, maybe we'll have to pass on. Yes, we do hear you now.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that the emotion is the one who fixes the fields. And then once the field, or you can call it, we want to create the mass, and then that will attract the rest of the fields. And then with the interaction of the environment, we're gonna then create the position, and also we decide the place, how to manifest, no? So these are the steps. And then when we are good, we can also decide which structure we want in that environment. So if you want to appear as a dog or a cat, but what I'm saying is the emotion is the one, I think, from my understanding, is the tool that we have to create the position, the location and the position. But like Mushfaq said, you have to have very clear where you want to go, what you want to do. And the clear that is, then is how you can fix the fields in a location is given by which fields we choose. So if you remember when we talk about the neutron stars, so you got the fields also, they interact, they go in the same direction. So there are, from the source, for example, but there are different strands.
Stefania, you're breaking up again.
But going to the same direction. So they're both coming from the biggest fields. So if you want to transmit in seconds, I leave it. Anyway, I just want to add this. 599, you can read carefully the 599. There is a lot of answer there.
Okay, thank you. We got most of that, I think.
Well, I have a testimony, if you can call it, like Estefania. During the teaching, I felt like this soft understanding of the core of that workshop. And then in the second part, it was lighter, but it was still soft and more easy to understand. And then second time I listened to the teaching. I was walking in the morning and with the headphone, and I listened and I felt the same thing, but let's say 20% of the, if it was 100, it was like 25% of how it looked like the first time in the teaching. So I'm saying that even in listening, I had the same feeling in my mind. And it was really delicious feeling. Anyway, I have a question from Mashfa, if I have time. I have problem. I didn't understand when you said about magnetical and gravitational fields and zero time, the relationship and the context. I didn't get it.
Yes, I can explain that. Your field is flowing in one direction, the gravitational is coming in the opposite direction, right?
Yeah.
Now, if they completely interact, then the gravitational coming back to you will completely stop the magnetical from moving forward. So it is stuck there. So time has stopped. It is not moving anywhere. It's just a stable condition. What is when we call it a stable condition, there is no energy transfer. So the gravitational has completely stopped the magnetical field from flowing. So the energy is no longer transferring beyond the boundary that is set by this gravitational field.
And you fix the destination, but emotion, or Stephanie said motion or emotion?
Gravitational, yes, you control the field, of course. I didn't talk about specific control in this case, but by setting up the field, it's kind of like You want to create the skin of a spaceship. So you essentially bring together two fields together and compress it, and then you have the surface materializing. So it's that kind of thing. So you want to any stable material, piece of copper plate, is a condition more or less frozen in time because it's not decaying, it's a stable condition. So it's in the time is so slow that to us it's not changing at all. So it's not, you cannot do it 100% in a way because there is always leakage because of environmental condition. But when you have no barrier in front of you, the magnetical can go in no time. So it's zero time. And the stable condition is the opposite of zero time because this barrier is so strong that magnetical has no place to go. It's just stuck there.
Yeah, but in a way, the magnetical becomes gravitational when it comes back the other way.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about going back. I am talking, you can bounce back, yes, but you can create a match condition where it's just, you're just holding it there.
It's just a matter of direction.
You can bounce back, yes, that is possible, but that's another setting. So you are then absorbing back the energy.
Other than reactor, are you able to realize magnetical and gravitational direction?
Everything is a reactor. What do you mean? Your soul is a reactor. Every system, whenever you create when the two plasma interacts together, it forms a plasma, which is a reactor system.
Okay.
So
how do you know the difference between gravitational and gravitational
well, you have
and electrical fields?
How do you know? You feel it. You can feel it. You can create a sensor, which is also another kind of feeling. You feel it's kind of like you're sending a magnetical. You can't go any further. You feel the push from the other direction. So like you go walk and come in front of a wall. And you can try walking through the wall. You can't. You're stopped there. You are no longer going. That's how you sense that you're not, you are stopped. You are in a stable condition of not being able to go through the wall. You are just stopped at the wall. That's your gravitational barrier. Your walking is the magnetical, but the wall is putting up such a barrier that you don't have, your walking is of zero value at that point. Now, if you change your energy condition, you can go through the wall. But then you are no longer matching the gravitational field put up by the wall. The wall is completely transparent to you. So there's no field interaction at all.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about that. And does it have to do when for example, Qigong, they open the hand, they take it up, they bring the energy of the sky, they pass it through the body. In fact, we feel something which has virtually some pressure. Can we use it? Does it have to do anything with this kind of visualization of bringing in energy?
Well, I mean, health condition or changing people's emotional state, which relates to their physical condition. It's possible to do, and there are different. Qigong has a different framework under which they operate, but in the end, the bottom line is that you're changing the health, emotional condition of the person to bring about the changes to the physicality.
Sure. And do you use breathing also? Because when we take breathing, we can visualize we take some energy and we get out some energies. Does it have to do with breathing also?
Well, breathing is a physical technique. So it is a physical technique and a useful and a powerful technique in physicality.
And
but once you get
emotionally.
past, well, it has the physical aspect of, the emotion that is on the physical side of our emotion. It is reflected back into our soul side, which is a different level of emotion, which is not the same emotion as we talk about or used to. It's, people call it subtle feelings and various other names. There are 100 different names for it. But the thing is that these emotions are something that we need to understand to operate. And this requires some familiarity, healing other people, which I have done. And, you get a sense. I generally don't want to sense anybody's problem. I mean, do I care about it? No. But if a patient comes and is willing to participate and seek my help, then I engage. And then I have the permission of the person, and I know I can do it. Then I can tell, well, you have this kind of problem, and address these issues, and you will be all right. And it happens because I consciously want to help this person, and this person is allowing me to help. So under that condition, I can connect with a person's emotion. Some want to talk about it in detail, some don't. Even if they don't, but they are prepared to engage in it, then then I can do something about it. Some can connect stronger, so at a higher field strength. In that case, their recovery process is really fast. Some, because of various conditioning or other fields in their thinking process that kind of put a barrier, small things here and there, they are usually their recovery is not as fast. So these are common things you see people go through in when I try to heal them or try to address their health condition. It's not healing so much as that. I'm just trying to let them discover their own emotional barrier and conditions. And once they come to terms with it, it's easy. And that's how I have done. I've done quite a few of these kind of things, and it has been very effective. Some were really effective. But anyway, that's I have talked a little bit about some of the examples like a few years back, but now it happens now too. But I don't talk to them.
Thank you very much. It gives a lot of material to work on. But personally, what I need is motivation to work on all these things. I think we should just concentrate and want to do that. I really want to experience profoundly, because you said all the things needed to really work on experiencing. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. We need it.
Thank you, my dear Mehran. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear Moxie.
And
yes,
I just like to take a couple minutes to explain. I did have a dream after the workshop. Of course, during the workshop, I felt a peace again. And I also had a confirmation that I was in the right place at the right time, being in and around the Keshe Foundation. So normally the workshop starts for me about 3 a.m. and it goes 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll lay down for a couple hours after that. Well, after the last workshop, I did lay down and I had a dream. Of course, it's not a dream. It's the work of the soul. We've been told to call it a dream. And Dean was in my dream. And it went sort of like this, the part that I recall. There was a lady on a bus, and the bus was parked. It was a half bus, the kind they use for the hotels or where they transport people back and forth to the. So the doors are usually in the middle. It's a smaller bus, and there was a lady in the back. I knew it was a female. There was only one passenger, and I was explaining to her Mr. Keshe's proposal about what to do with the Iranian nuclear material, about this reprocessing and the rest of this. And I was explaining to her, and she was paying very close attention to me. I couldn't really see her face, but I had the sense that she was intently listening to what I had to say. And all of a sudden, the bus driver says, "We have to go. We have to go now." And I look over, and it's Dean, and he was wearing a bus driver's hat. And I said, "Dean, she's listening to me. Can I have more time?" And I guess he gave me more time. I explained a little bit more to the lady, and then he said, "No, we have to go." And I guess the doors closed and the bus drove off, as buses usually have to stay on a certain schedule. But most of the time when we talk to people, sometimes we sense it goes in one ear and out the other. But this lady, whoever the lady was listening intently to what I had to say. And I think maybe Dean was there because perhaps, and I'm not sure, that what Mr. Keshe had said, how maybe a few weeks ago he said they had made a proposal to the Iranian leadership. He didn't explain it, but in this workshop, I think it was triggered again by one of Dean's questions, I'm not sure, about this reprocessing and what to do with the materials. So that was the interaction I had after, one of the interactions I had after the workshop. But the lady was certainly listening intensely to the proposal, or what I was explaining about how to handle this situation with the nuclear material. And of course, it was a beautiful proposal Mr. Keshe has made. And of course, we put that into the wish, because I just thought I'd share that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So beautiful you shared. Thank you, my dear. And we are all experiencing, as I have also experienced this beautiful sun ray that was when I was a child, as Stephanie experienced, and that childhood that I am coming from the school with my so joyful, so with my friends. So these are, like Moshfik said, the gravity. The detachment is all about, the past, the gravity that has been accumulating again and again the past. We have to leave that gravity, the gravitational force, to create this new magnitude. Indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Rick, there are few questions accordingly to this. Can we attend that for now? I mean, if you say.
Can we what? Pardon me?
There are questions according to this transmutation. So, yes.
In our Q&A, you mean?
Yes, Q&A.
Okay. Yes, Ike says, could it be just by thinking, by just thinking?
Thinking is a form of, this is also, thinking comes out from the veil and comes in physicality. It is also energy, tangible and intangible. And this is a spark, thinking. But the process is the whole of you, the soul of man and the soul of physicality, to attain this way of transmuting. So you have to be the whole of you, in a way, what you need. That is the question. Only thinking doesn't make that, that again, this magnitude or this gravity. So thinking still sticks in this physical form, and also linger in the untangible form. Thank you, Ike, for asking. There is a question from Salomia. What is the structural piece?
Structural piece, she says, yes.
Structural piece is what you structure. There is no such thing as structural peace. But if you say there is a structural peace, it is according to you, my dear Salomia. And it is that when you explore yourself with honesty and humility, when you explore yourself, so that creates this understanding of peace. Then you will say, if you say structuring the peace from within you and understanding the physicality, that can be happen, but it will be only you. You are the most important being if there is this peace and structural peace understanding. So no one can, many can tell you that peace is like that. You can attain peace with dhyan and all, but then it is upon you how you understand peace. From you to all that is. Thank you, Salomia, my dear, asking the question. And then there is a question from um, like, Corina.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Corina Outbutter. Giving what you want to receive. Yes, of course, that is the key. But you have to understand also what you're receiving. You have to balance what you're receiving. Because what you're giving, maybe you're giving love, you're receiving love. If you understand peace, you are receiving the peace, but you don't understand that it doesn't work. You have to understand soulfully, I will say, about what you're receiving. Because all the way from thousands and thousands of years, we have received what we know. That shouldn't be like that. But when you receive, you mostly um, we have given all this physicality only. But when you in the soul realm, when you receive something, some condition, then you have to understand. You have to decode it in your way, so that you can understand what is peace, what is how you transmute things. You know, that is the way our ability works here. And this is, well, I will say, a very simple way. And also, if you say, so I have to ask somebody, then it may be difficult. As we are all know, we are all books now. All the chapters are this receiving and giving, how you receive. And this time now, especially I'll encourage how you understand what you are receiving, so that you can give what you receive. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear Corina. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, Moshfik, for your beautiful presentation, as you always do. And we have all experienced, in a way, the child, the ray of the young sun, I will say, and moved from that. So thank you so much. Now we can go to the next presentation. As the symposium is, for now, has been delayed because of so many reasons, we can get this update. Whenever we get the update, we will share with you all, beautiful souls. Now, thank you to Shriman Mehranji, MT Keshe, for, well, we all
Yes,
love you.
Mr. Keshe says he put out an urgent notice, and please note that the 19th of July presentation in Vienna is canceled due to organizers rearranging the program. We would like to apologize to those who booked, and please change your arrangements if you were coming to the conference. Well, it's actually over now, but that's just to let people know that's what happened on that one. Okay.
Yes, my dear. Thank you. Now it's time. We can skip this today, Rick, because the needs and wishes. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Needs and wishes. Your
Now
beautiful soul.
there's also, before this, Shweta, there's a excerpt about Mr. Keshe's announcements from
yes.
July 17th. Maybe I should play that. So let me get that up here first. It's about 5 minutes, so let's share that. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're back again at the 599th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here. And because it's the second half, Mr. Keshe, as I mentioned, will be able to answer questions. But first, he probably has some answers that he would like to offload to us here. So please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
I assume this is one way of putting it. Thank you very much. As you know, we are moving very fast with our development, and we do expect big changes in a lot of things. And in a way, now that we start controlling, in a way, feeding the time in the background to all the teachings from last week and this week and on, whenever we keep the systems on, any of you listen to these teachings, as we see now with what we call confirmation of the reports from you knowledge seekers. You were listening during the teaching, or you listen afterwards and you've seen the effect, confirms to us that the world is lasting and the energy is transferred. Let us know how you feel, how you change, how changes come to you, that in the process we will develop, prepare everything for the transmutation and transportation, and in due course for what it needs to be done. There's one announcement I have to make, that the teaching of the test of the 25th of July will be carried out round about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a reason for this. So on the 25th, the July session will be 2 p.m. and not the 10 or 9 o'clock we started. And it will be for about 3 or 4 hour session. We are still trying to sort out the structures and the technologies for what is needed, and all of you should receive or should have had by 25th, if you ordered the what we call cosmic ray materials with you, that you can join in that session. That session will be very special for us. We're trying to create a condition of transmutation for you to feel and how it's done. And please, those of you who come in that session, don't complain to us somebody is snoring. You dream, you travel through your soul during your sleep. The guy is traveling his time. And a lot of you make a lot of noise. We cannot isolate you. If you want a private session for the same thing, please find yourself a couple of $100,000. We give you 1 or 2 or 3 hour sessions on your own, that we know what is storing. But in the universe, there's always noises, communications, and everything else. So please get used to it. We live in a society full of movement of energy. If there are any questions, we'll try to answer. If I remember anything, I'll try to add into it during the teaching.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. We don't have any hands up yet here. Again, I remind our attendees, you can raise your virtual hand and we can acknowledge that and open your microphone for you. We do have quite a few questions in the Q&A here.
Can I ask all of you knowledge seekers, remember how you felt from the beginning of the teaching till now, as we have switched our system for the second half? Let us know if you feel any different between the first and the second. Not just something to write emotionally,
elevation and understanding, change in life, let us know. And if you feel anything between the first and the second. Sorry about that. Carry on.
Okay, very good.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, my dear Rick. Now, the needs and wishes, dear beautiful soul. And I welcome if I think we have kind of interacted with the questions asked and the need and wishes, beautiful souls. We, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet. Our wish is our command. We are present. We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of our brothers and sisters of India and Pakistan for peace and enlightenment now. Our wish is our command. We are present. Thank you.
Perhaps I can read one response in the webinar chat here.
Yes.
About someone who listened to the Spanish translation of the last workshop. And this is their testimonial. I think this comes from Lissy. Not from Lissy, but the person's testimonial comes from Lissy. The person says, now that I think about it with your explanation, I did experience changes that day and for several days afterward. My emotions were very group-like, of universal unity, and I imagine transmutation. That video you shared above even appeared. The video about the one people not eating or dreaming for around 6 years. It seems the concepts are a little clearer in my head. I mean, I understand better what it is and how to transmute. I even told myself, am I understanding more or am I just nervous? Smile. I wish the same for my knowledge seeker colleagues. Hugs to you all. Okay, thank you for that.
Yes, thank you, beautiful soul, for that. Understanding more and more. Indeed, indeed, of course. Thank you, thank you.
And there was one other comment, I think it's probably from Marinez, UC host one. Says the...
Go.
Hello?
Sorry, I need the next little words about that testimony because it's special. She listened translation. She not listen in English. Maybe 3 or 4 days when I give her the translation, she listen and she after say, "Oh my God!" But Mr. K said, "Please, not important. The people want the time they listen and more interesting is not listen directly to Mr. Cage. Is listen to the translation. So I think it's, it's important. Remember it all the time. All veins is connected. Thank you.
Yes, and that it wasn't the words that were important, but the feelings going on in the background, the energies in the background.
Yes, my dear Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much.
There was one other comment in the chat from UC host one, which is, I think, Marinez in this case. Says the creator always gives and we give back to him in gratitude. It's a constant cycle. A mother gives love and receives it multiplied by her child. So in that sense, I was thinking earlier in that question that came up, that this emotion of gratitude is something that we tend to consciously and deliberately we give love and we give our gratitude and we give other emotions like that is you could say more magnetical, and through that act of giving we tend to get back that which we give out, you could say, but we don't give it out in order to get it back. If you give out love in order to get it back and expect to get it back, that's different than unconditional love, which just gives and doesn't expect anything back, even though it does come back. It's like the sun. The sun is always giving. But at the same time, it also receives from the earth and other planets a constant supply of materials and energies. And it doesn't expect to get that back, but it's because it's just in a mode of constant giving. And the same as a mother is always giving love and kind of expects that the child will give it back, but it's not always the case that it seems to be manifest that way until maybe later in life or some other time. But there's still the children will show their love in many ways until they're teenagers.
Yes, my dear Rick, as a mother, I also understand that that we always expect that when giving love that the child should give back, or the kid, or the teenager, or the young one. But then now this is about this ray of the sun, the unconditional love. It brings you in peace mostly, you know. It brings you in peace and you understand, observe more beauty. Indeed, indeed. Thank you, Elizabeth, my dear. Thank you. Thank you, Rick.
Good point, Shweta. Okay, I think we can move to our next phase here, if there's no other questions or comments.
Thank you so much, my dear Rick. We are here to serve, not to be served, dear beautiful souls. And that is the key of the I am that I am. So I will say thank you so, so much. And I welcome you again. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Swagatam into the beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization, into the beautiful energy of universal souls, into the beautiful energy of all souls in existence, dear beautiful souls. And please do join, follow, hug Keshe Foundation, as Keshe Foundation is continuously enlightening the whole world. And please also join the X platform. Many, many informations are there. And a donation is a very, very lots of kindness, dear beautiful souls, you can give and receive all the love and blessings. And thank you for being always here. And well, I will say, come in this beauty and totality. Thank you so much, so, so much, beautiful souls. Salam, namaste, salute, the Universal Council.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Shweta, and thanks to all of the members and support members of the Universal Council who put together these programs and present it for everyone for the benefit of all. And thank you everyone for attending today's program of the 388th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, here on Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. Our next public teaching workshop will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, and that will start Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central European Time, as per usual. And that will be open to members of the public who would like to show and tell and discuss things of the plasma nature, and we get into more of the theory and practice of implementing some of the ideas that have come up in the past 10 or 15 years or so of the plasma teachings. Okay, everyone. Again, thank you for being here, and we'll go out with our usual manner. And
yes, of course. And some dance and some clapping.
Bring some joy to Shweta in particular. And
thank
to
you
all
so
of
much.
us.
Peace, joy, blessings of Ma, my dear beautiful soul. Dance, dance, and clap.
Okay, bye for now, everyone.